Spin the Liberal Party. Fake news.
Today, the main speakers after myself will be Vlad, Chris Sky, and my good friend Ryan, who has an amazing message. I'm going to do my best here today to give you a couple of certain points, because I will be singing the Canadian anthem in my version together with yours. My best friend Wade is stuck in the U.S. right now while his father's in the hospital, Gary, on the East Coast, who needs surgery for 3 of the valves in his heart. And his wife, married for 52 years, Nancy, cannot go see her husband while he's in the hospital. Out of all the issues that are out there today, that is perhaps the one that hits me the most. That people are out there dying that we can't see and say goodbye to before they go. That to me is the ultimate disrespect. So, having said that, this O Canada will be sung in memory of all the people that we've lost to this cause. The memory for the people that are out there today, not being able to talk to their people. And for you all to channel your heart to Gary, because I will send this prayer to him through the Canadian anthem that he walks out of there like the warrior that he is. So please follow me and take out your Canadian anthems to follow along. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, thou dost in us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on God for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Thank you all. This is the celebration of life. I really want to engrave this into every single person that's here today. The protest is a protest, but we are celebrating life, our normal life that we have to fight right now. Okay? It's our responsibility to ourselves. It's our responsibility for our elderly population that's been subjected to extreme measures. And actually, you know, I don't want to make a hard term, but I look at it as a genocide of elderly population which took place in Canada and across the world. It's really the genocide of elderly population. There's a lot of facts coming out, guys. We can talk about it later. And it's also a responsibility for our children. And that's why we have specifically kids events. This is our second Saturday, specifically focusing on having as many children as we can. And let me tell you, I'm already unfortunately saddened to see how our children after over 2 months of being subjected to indoctrination into fear already are very timid compared to how they were 2 months ago. And everyone should be very, very alarmed by that. The children are sitting on the benches. They have anxieties of being with other children. We cannot allow that to continue. This all must stop now. All must stop now. I'm going to talk quickly about some of the stats, guys. There's a lot of data coming out now. Some of the things I want to mention, very important. First of all, for everyone to really understand, if you don't know already, every day saying how many new cases of virus we have means nothing. It means nothing how many new infected people with this virus. The only information they need to tell us is how many people are serious and going to the hospitals. And they're not telling you that. They're not telling you that for a reason, because the numbers are so small, you will lose your mind to understand that for a few people that are serious, unfortunately, but they're able to get proper health care because we have a very good hospital care. Because the numbers are so small, they're not telling you that. They only keep telling you like basketball stats. How many new cases every day? They're making a game out of that. And that's ridiculous what we're doing to lives. Now, the other thing people need to understand, the tests are always double counted. There's a cross-contamination that happens with test kits. They're mixing up all the science, all the results from the test. And that's happening in the United Kingdom. That's happening in the United States. And guess what? It's happening in Canada as well. So people need to understand. The numbers every day, 300 for Ontario or whatever it is for the whole Canada. I stopped following those numbers a long time ago because I can see it's always the same bullshit they're trying to put on us. I'll tell you right now, 99.8% survival rate from this virus. 99.8% survival rate from this virus. One more time, everybody. 99.8% survival rate from this virus.
99.8%
Yes.
survival rate.
So how this is the worst thing that ever happened to humanity? Please explain me. This is like a Second World War. This is like a Spanish flu. By the way, I just found a good article last week. There's a good correlation between the Spanish flu deaths and the vaccine that was created by Rockefeller Foundation at the same time. Coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so. And guess what? The only using that Spanish flu in all the media, and they're not talking about the Hong Kong flu that happened in 1968. Please do your research. The Hong Kong flu in 1968. They had a Woodstock festival around the same time. And we're not allowed to have this gathering. We're not allowed to have a Canada Day celebration. All the festivals in Toronto and across Canada are cancelled. This must stop now. Again, this is the real data. This is not some funny statistics they're trying to use. We have hundreds and hundreds of people coming here every single week. So if this virus was as contagious and as deadly as they're trying to make us to believe, the whole city should be in a hospital by now. Like what? How's that even possible? We have over 10,000 beds in a hospital designated for this virus. Not even 10% is being used. It's a scam. This is a scamdemic. Not because the virus is not real. People are definitely affected, but it's the same risk population. We've been saying this from the day one.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
It's 100%. So the other thing I wanted to explain that so when they now trying to enroll, the Doug Ford is so happy that they're gonna give employers opportunity to test their own employees. Like, are you kidding me? They want to create random checks for this test. We cannot allow that to happen. The federal government wants to roll out contact tracing around the whole province, around the whole country, and prevent people from traveling in this country. This is a direct violation of our Charter of Rights and Freedom. We should be free to travel in this country with no restrictions. They need to be reminded. The other thing I want to say that the normal life for our children, again, this is why we're here. The school's being rolled out already. In the States and in Canada already, people are getting letters from the schools that kids will be required to wear masks in school.
No!
Now, all the regulations, I'm not going to go into details. It's really psychological and physical damage that they're going to impose on our children. Now, let me explain you why they're trying to do that. The whole agenda is to create antisocial society. That's why they don't allow people to come together. That's why they don't allow children to play together. To create antisocial society. That's why they want everyone to work from home. And people embrace it thinking it's a good idea. Sure, there's some benefit, but the antisocial society is real as an agenda. And they're trying to impose that on our children. Okay? The mandatory vaccinations are already going to be rolled out for all the office and government workers. So teachers, nurses, doctors, all will be required to do mandatory vaccination. This is something we must stop now. We cannot allow that to happen. Again, let me repeat you. 99.8% survival rate. It's gonna get better by next week, I promise. Now, that's why when somebody tells me I have to wear the mask, I have to get a mandatory vaccines. We're not doing any of this for a flu. We're not doing this for this virus either. And yes, flu is a serious thing. People actually die from the flu. I get it. But if we didn't do it for the flu, we're not doing this for this. Couple more things, and then I'm going to get my really good friend to come up here and continue talking. In terms of the masks, for the next protest, I'm going to have 5,000 flyers printed up for every one person here, and take a few for your friends. How we're going to deny wearing the masks in public. I already have a flyer made up. We just want to print it up for next week. You're going to have it with you at all times. Please understand, boycotting the businesses that forcing the mask is not the way. We need to resist and we need to disobey. It's called civil disobedience. We as a people have civil disobedience, and that's the best power we can have to fight all this oppression. This is the real oppression of human rights, of our choices and freedoms, and we must resist. Again, for ourselves, for our elderly population, and for our children and the next generation to come. This fight is real. This is not a drill. And the window to do anything is very small, and it closes very fast. The last thing I'm going to say, before I bring my friend here, is our responsibility to the world. For the next week, each, please commit to bring 10 people with you. Not if you're coming. Next week, every single person must bring 10 new people with you. This is how we're going to show this government and this country and the world that we mean business. In Germany, in Poland, in the States, they have thousands and thousands of people are marching. We need to do what we can. And to help people to come here, this is a celebration of life. So when you invite somebody, you're not inviting them to the protest. You're inviting people for celebration of life and to come together. Children can play. We can hold a prayer together. We can have some music. People just being humans. We need to fight for a normal life. We need to fight for our humanity. And if it's not up to us, who's going to do it? We're going to do it. And we're not afraid. Let's go. Chris, come up here. He's going to talk about our stuff.
Freedom! Freedom! Freedom!
Ladies and gentlemen, before I start, I just want to give a shout out to all you crazy daredevils. According to government propaganda, most of us should be in the hospital or dead by now. But here you are. A lot of people did not want me talking to you guys ever again. Let me stress this. A lot of people did not want me here. I found government people at my house at 11 o'clock at night. I've been getting threatening phone calls saying they're going to put me in the Toronto Star, the National Post, expose my crazy agenda to open the economy. Absolutely ridiculous. Thankfully, I don't really respond well to intimidation. So here I am. The government wants us to believe this is a very deadly virus. I just came by a CDC report today that compiles all the known data up to April 29th of 2020. And their new best estimate for the death rate of this virus, and I have it screenshotted, I have it linked, is 0.004%. That is the estimated worldwide death rate. Personally, I don't know anybody who died of COVID. Not one person. One of the reasons for that is 95% of all COVID deaths in Canada were in people 65 and older. 95%. Then, I don't know if any of you got caught up on the school propaganda that Vlad talked about, but they're trying to enroll that nationwide, telling you your children won't be safe unless they social distance, unless they don't have Meanwhile, what do the statistics say? The actual data, not their very scary models they make up to make people twitch in their sheets. The actual data is, in Canada, we have 8 million people aged 0 to 19. 8 million. How many have died from COVID? Absolutely none. But we're supposed to believe that we need to subject our children to vast psychological trauma and social conditioning to keep them safe from something that hasn't killed any of them. Let me say that again. COVID-19 is literally considered non-lethal to children and young adults in Canada. That's not speculation. If something hasn't killed anybody, they can't call it lethal because it has to kill you to be lethal. However, I do know people that have died from COVID, but not the way you think. I know people that lost their business in the prime of their life, and with their business came their house. And they felt so overwhelmed and so desperate that they had no other alternative, they thought, but to end their life. These are people with no underlying conditions, no sickness, no other problems except ones government intentionally created for them. And what do we have Doug Ford saying as a response? We literally have people pleading to him to the point of killing themselves just so they can go to work. And what is his response on TV wearing his little blue gloves? Let them make cake. Do you guys remember the last time a tyrant sat down with the population? They were suffocating. She kind of lost her head. I don't want to make threats or anything, but I just think Doug Ford should be in this story. Well, now that we know what's going on, there's another program they announced yesterday. If you still doubt that this is a takeover of society, the target is small business and the takeover is large business, they have decided if you own a large business of $300 million or more, they will loan you as much money as you need to make sure you survive this crisis. Yeah, as much money as you need. But guess what you have to give them in return? Part ownership of your company. So, what do you call it when the government is taking over the means of production? What is the definition of that? Thank you very much. This is literally an in-your-face way to transform our economic system from the capitalist socialist that we have to straight up pseudo-capitalist communism like you have in China. You're still technically allowed to own a business, but the government's going to own your part of your business. The government's going to control how you operate. The government's going to control everything about that business. And if you're one of the small guys, if you're one of the little guys, if you're one of the independent thinkers, one of the people that employs 70% of Canada, well, you just don't fit into their plan. So you're going to have to go. Sorry. That's the plan. That's why they won't give you a date. That's why they keep telling you you're going to have to wait another 2 weeks indefinitely. If you let them do that, they might let you open in July, August, with very ridiculous restrictions to make sure you cannot make money. Then, by the time flu season comes around again, we're not going to call it COVID season, that's giving it too much credit. You already know you're going to hear second wave, over and over from everywhere you look. And then they're going to tell you, sorry, you got to close your business again. And this time, 4 out of 5 of those businesses are going to be shut forever. So, we got to stop this. How do we stop it? I'm not going to give you guys some crazy pipe dream of marching on Parliament or getting the government to step down. Those are distractions. Those will not happen. How do you get this to stop? The same way our protest is working here. If there was 20 of us here, me talking to 20 people, I'd already be in handcuffs, I'd already be in a cop car. The same thing applies to small businesses. If you guys try to open a loan, they'll find you, they'll come after you, they'll try to make an example of you, so you make sure you tell everybody, whatever you do, don't go against the government. So I want to make it so you guys have every tool available to go against the government. That's why I started the Back to Work initiative, the Back to Work base group, and now the Back to Work nonprofit organization that will have official status next week. Our plan is to make people, we don't want people to break the law. We never would tell anybody to go out and break the law. However, when it comes to the point where business owners are looking at their books, where their accountants are telling them, you either open in 2 weeks or you're done. It becomes necessity. People have no choice. They have to try to open, and they have to try to do it in a way that minimizes their chances of getting reprisals from this crazy government. So what are we doing about it? With my nonprofit, we're going to organize as many businesses as we can inside the network. We have provided them a legal defense team that will represent all of them. And as of next week, as I obtain my nonprofit status, we will start taking donations for a legal fund to help any business that gets harassed by this government to not only retain counsel, but to make sure they have a unified front like we have here. Hundreds of businesses organized, like we have hundreds of protesters. We don't need millions like a march on government. We just need a few hundred business owners acting out of personal necessity. If you all decide on a soft opening day, and nobody knows when this is except for you and me, and everybody opens, the government might be able to go to 4 or 5 businesses a day, and most of those people will get warnings and might have to shut down. But there'll still be hundreds of businesses open and opening. And as soon as these businesses open, the people will leave their homes. When the people leave their homes like we have, and nobody gets sick because this is not a dangerous virus, the whole hoax falls apart. Social distancing becomes a bad memory. Our schools go back to normal. Our businesses thrive. Our independence is retained. Our freedom is retained. If you doubt that we have this power, I can prove it to you quite easily. We know the government is lying. We know they use the government, the media, their so-called experts. Every facet they can get to you, they use to lie. Social media. Why do they do this? If the government had the power they want you to think they have, they wouldn't waste the friggin' time and resources lying to you to get you to comply. They would come out and tell you, this is what's gonna happen, and you're not gonna do anything about it. They have to lie. In a free society, the truth is prevalent everywhere. And that's how people are informed to make the right choice. And that's why there's always freedom in a society that values truth. However, for tyranny to thrive, it's absolutely imperative to spread that ignorance to the masses. Because the people that in power know that fear and ignorance is what keeps the masses compliant, no matter how devious the agenda. That's all it is, fear. And that's why you need, when you're lying, you need to tell the same lie over and over, as much as possible, from as many people as possible. Yet when you hear the truth resonates, and you need to only hear it once from one person, and it dispels all those lies. That's why they don't want me talking to you. Because I tell the truth, and they know, as soon as you hear the truth and you wake up to the lies, they become completely powerless. And if you want this to end, if you want to be free, if you want the Canada that we grew up in for your children, you're going to have to listen to me. That's all I got to say. I'm the only one offering a viable solution. Other people are giving things that sound nice. This is real stuff. This is the kind of thing on the ground. I was telling a lot of people about this activist, and the most common response I heard was, no one's ever done anything like that before. No kidding. That's why it's going to work. If you truly believe you are free, do you believe you are free? Do you want to be free? Then just come with me.
How was
Yes, that's the application.